Hello, welcome back to Squashwarp. This is Kerbal Space Program. I'm Luke, and I'm not having an easy time focusing today, evidenced by how difficult this launch was and how many problems I had on the way, and the fact that I didn't hit record. So we missed the launch of this craft, but it was kind of an embarrassing launch anyway, so I think I'm happy with that. This is my new spacecraft, the Vampire ISRU, In Situ Resource Utilization. It is supposed to go to minmus and mine the surface for ore, which will be transformed into fuel and oxygen and oxidizer. And that's why it has such massive solar panels, and big radiators and stuff. I like the industrial look that it has going on. But we'll see what other mistakes I can make today. Let's warp out to the maneuver that we're going to have. Well, we might as well point towards it first. And then we can get a nice view of the back of these solar panels, which are so majestic. All right, here we go. That's Joule. Where's minmus? Now, last time I time warped to this maneuver node, the game crashed. So, fingers crossed. It's the first time this game has locked up on me on this install, so hopefully that's not a trend of things to come. I did install some new stuff. Okay, delete on close. Let's perform this burn. Let's focus. Can we focus on minmus? I want to look at minmus. Add a maneuver, maybe? Focus on minmus. There we go. Let's actually use the RCS. There we go. To adjust. Let's delete this. Okay, our descending node is now also our closest approach. I'm going to build a maneuver here to rendezvous with the space station, and I'll see you after. All right, maneuver built. Gonna get us positioned. Vaguely. And do we set an alarm? Yeah, it's actually after a couple of things. Let's set an alarm for SOI change as well. Okay. Now that we've got that all set up, we actually need to go look at a couple other things, and then we'll come back. But Vampire ISRU is on the way. Actually, we don't have to rendezvous with the space station. I forgot. Because there's no need to rendezvous with the space station. We're just going to land. Okay, stand by. Yeah, I just need to double check literally everything I do today. We are just going to land. We don't need to be targeting the Dryad transfer vehicle. We're landing on minmus first. So we just got to get into a polar orbit of minmus, and then we'll sort things out from there. Whew. All right, let's make sure we're getting solar power. We are. Let's see what is next. We have efficient flight systems is about to be complete. So let's pull up Kerbal construction time and warp to that. And then we're going to check in on our asteroid redirect, which I did switch to, and it did get electric power back, so we're no longer dead in space. Okay. All right, now we're researching metamaterials, but that's going to be after that. Okay. All right, switch to asteroid redirect. Okay, here we are. We have solar power. Let's warp to our apoaps. Again, we won't have much liquid fuel. I might start cutting these out because this is going to get very repetitive. We'll just do it one more time. Because I believe I fixed the audio issue, although we'll see if that's still the case in a second. We want to point orbit retrograde once we get control of the vehicle back. All right, and let's roll. Are we getting electric charge? Looks like we're getting electric charge. Okay. Throttle up. Look at that. We have noise. I went in and I deleted a part of a config file in one of the mods, and now it seems to be working. Okay. Let's time warp. Hang on. Let's physics warp times 12. 1, 2, 3. Burn all of this propellant. Let's look at what we're doing to our orbit. Look at Kerbin. There we go. Our periaps is coming down very slowly. And we're almost out of the propellant again. Okay, normal physics warp. And let's, well, we can't rotate so that our solar panels, oh no, we do have a little bit of signal. That's the wrong way though. Let's rotate like this to make sure we're getting electric charge. And then roll. Whoa! Rolling is apparently very easy. Okay. That was that. What's next? Vampire ISRU. We're going back. Okay, back with this craft. Let's go out to minmus. There it is. No crashing on the moon or the game. And here's the sphere of influence alarm. Delete that on close. Let's get through the sphere of influence. Metamaterials will be done shortly. I've been forgetting to do my science. Hang on. Gravity scan high over Minmus's lowlands. Sadly, the readings indicate that Minmus is far too dense to be composed of mint ice cream. Okay. Let's warp. Scan over the Midlands. Highlands. We did Midlands already. Highlands. Metamaterials are about to be done. Rock Passenger is on the way. Excellent. All right, let's close that. Lowlands. High over the slopes. Near the lowlands. Near the Midlands. All right, we're at the maneuver node. I put the gravity detectors on this because we had unlocked the new experiment, but we hadn't had a chance to do it anywhere yet. So I just put it on the next craft that was built that was going somewhere useful. Thrust. Okay. 15 by 16 kilometer orbit. I'm going to do a loop to get all the science. Okay. We've done one loop. There's still more biomes to get science over, but I don't want to sit here and just orbit forever. So we're going to take a look at the resource abundance on minmus. So let's look at minmus. Let's do an ore resource overlay. And then let me figure out how to read this. Ore, Midlands, ore 5 to 10%. Greater Flats, ore 5 to 10%. Slopes, there's none. Lowlands, there's none. Let me put on my orbit track. What's ahead? Which way am I going? I'm going that way. So blue is ahead of me. So in an orbit or so, we're going to be aiming for the flats, which is a nice place to go. So let's warp until we're opposite that, I think. It's going to make that noise. I can turn that off, but I kind of want to hear when it says something new. Okay. Let me see if I can move this to see what I'm doing. Let's come in for a landing. Don't have a lot of Delta V, but that's okay. I think we've got enough to land on minmus. Oh, now we're gonna crash into the mountain. We don't want that. Let's use some of this monopropellant up. Okay. Save. And now let's warp here. And we're not getting any poles. Might have to be at a more inclined orbit. Let me close that. Wait, actually, let me check something on that. Yeah, all of the flats are that way. Okay. Orbit retrograde. Let's bring it down on the flats ahead of us. Let's get past this mountain. There. And then let's bring it down a little bit more definitively in the flats. That's going to be good enough. Alright, rotate this way, extend the gear. Quick save. There's the moon and Kerbin. Alright. Let's get Kerbal Engineer, let's do landing, and then I can use the suicide burn counter as well. 2 minutes. Greater flats. Okay. I'm going to retract the solar panels just in case we have a problem. So we're going to run down electric charge, but hopefully not very quickly. 47 seconds till burn. Oh, the flats are so pretty and they're reflective. I'm trying not to be too early, but it's more critical not to be too late. So the countdown is right here. Twelve, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, that was really successful. Thank you, maneuver countdown. Where's my shadow? There it is. Let's touch down a little slower, please. Okay. Woo! Alright, considering the kind of brain day I've been having, like, I'm really happy with that. And we even kind of aligned north-south, so let's deploy the solar panels. Let's pull up system heat. That's the overlay for system heat. Let's put that away because it's distracting. Let's deploy the radiators. Got some massive radiators. Let's deploy one of the drills. And it's going to go down into the surface. And now we can start the surface harvester. And it's going to start putting ore into the ore tanks. Now, we can start the ISRU liquid fuel and oxidizer. Look, it turns on. I didn't even see that. That's so cool. We can also start ISRU liquid fuel and start ISRU oxidizer. Let's just check what's going on with this. We're generating 180 kilowatts of heat. We've not currently removed it yet. Let's see what's going on. The radiators need to get up to temperature before they can remove all of the heat that is being generated. So we have the option to turn off one of the converters in there if we need to. But removed has gone up to 190. So we're now... Temperature's still going up, but it's supposed to go up. We're now removing 200 kilowatts and generating 180, so we should be fine. Just gonna wait for this temperature to equilibrate. There we go. Okay. So system heat is working. We're not gonna deploy the other drill. It's just there in case this one breaks, I guess. It's there for symmetry. But we're only gonna use one drill at a time. Can we do more than that? What happens if we deploy the other drill? Let's stop the surface harvester. It generates... It asks us to create more heat than we have radiators for. Is this gonna reduce now? We're generating a lot of electric charge, and we're not consuming much in the way of power. That seems wrong, but I may have read this wrong. We might have too many solar panels. I'm not sure. Yeah, and this is dropping. Okay, good. Okay, we just leave that running until it's finished. What's happening now? I'm gonna quick save. What's next? The passenger version of our space plane is going to be complete in 9 days. So we can actually just sit here with this thing and watch it mine. Let's get our gravity scan, though. Readings of gravity, yes. Okay. Okay. Let's sit. The sun's gonna go down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We jumped. When the sun goes down, we are going to have to shut down for the night. So we should not be looking at this right now, or we're gonna lose electric charge. So let's turn off... Yeah, let's go back to the Space Center. Alright, on this rainy day, with a lightning storm over there, we're finally going to send... we're finally going to do something that we said we were going to do a long time ago, which is send a tourist to space. So let's clear everything. We're going to add Valentina and Tito Kerbin. And that's it. This is our trial run of the craft. Let's launch. Alright, it's raining on launch day. Let's turn the brakes on. Alright, let me see if I can fly this better than last time. Control. Wow, you can hear the rain inside the cabin. There's water on the windshield. I can't believe it. Here's the passenger seat. Or the co-pilot seat, but he's getting to sit in it. That is insane. I never would have imagined that in Kerbal Space Program you would get to see rain on the windshield. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Power on. Throttle up. Brakes off. Stay on the runway. Take off. Gear up. Get into our climb. I might fast forward through some of this. Don't mind me. Well, I still didn't do as good a job as I did in my test flight, but that was much better. I'll keep working on it. I mean, we'll keep launching this craft, and each time I'll get a little bit better. But at least we made it, and we have some Delta V to spare. Now we're just coasting up into space. Okay, we're in space. Deploy the cargo bay, the solar panels. And let's make a maneuver. Okay. Let's go to the maneuver. Pardon me. There's a couple of stars out there that really look like planets. I can't tell. Maybe they're just stars in the background. And we got sounds back. I'm so happy that these make noise. They kind of impinge on these things, but let's not worry about that. We got the thing to work. Let's not nitpick. I mean, you can nitpick. I'm not going to nitpick. Alright. 81 by 84. We are officially in orbit. Let's roll so as to catch the sun when we need to. And let's see how Tito... Oh, contract deadline. Oh. We lost money because we lost a deadline. Well, I was just about to launch that craft. Okay, well, oh well. That's done. Don't we have a contract to kick off space tourism? There we go. So we need to orbit for 4 hours. That sounds good. Let's at least once look at the view that he's getting. Warp here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I said warp here. Having trouble. Alright. So here he is. He gets to look out this window. Let's roll. And there you go. That's your view. Alright, now we just need to recover. Where's the Space Center? Its Space Center's in the dark. Let's focus on Kerbin so that we don't... I said let's focus on Kerbin so that we don't make ourselves dizzy spinning in circles. And let's time warp until the Space Center is in daytime. Good. Alright. Plane descent. I want to get the descent profile of this plane dialed in. So let's add a maneuver to reduce our periaps right over the Space Center. I don't know how to land a space plane, so that's part of the experiment here. My guess is that because it flies, we have to go deeper than you would think. So let's go to 30. 30 kilometers over the Space Center. Let's try that. And then we'll find out if it works. But as we've learned, these space planes are not necessarily so good at landing elsewhere. So we're going to try to get to the runway. Okay. Alright, and because we didn't spend all of our fuel, we actually have a little bit of leeway. Let's deactivate the nuclear engines. And then the jets should come back online once we have enough air, so we can actually fly a little bit. Alright, let's turn... This is fine. Let's roll... this way. Let's get into free camera. And let's warp. We'll turn surface prograde as soon as possible. Okay, we hit the atmosphere much sooner than I thought. Let's retract the solar panels and close the cargo bay. Okay, this will be my first attempt at an orbital descent to the runway in this save. It's been many years since I've done this, so fingers crossed. Electric charge is the only thing that might run out. Let's keep an eye on that. All right, here we go for the descent. Let's pitch up. I wasn't paying attention. I was realizing that the Space Center is not where I thought it was because I planned the maneuver and then we did the maneuver at a different time, which is a rookie mistake. Okay. Where is the Space Center? There it is. Okay. Okay, good. Let's activate navigation. This is pretty. Alright, carry on. Okay, we're coming in over the mountains west of the Kerbal Space Center. And I've been having some control issues because I keep time accelerating and forgetting I'm time accelerating. But we're on a relatively good approach angle, even though I made mistakes in when I set up my maneuvers. But I think we're going to be a little short, but thankfully we have some fuel, so we can just fly there if need be. We're still pretty high up, and so I don't have much control. So I'm going to let us fly closer to the ground so we get some more aerodynamic surface control. And this thing, remember, I never tested in normal flight, unfortunately. So let's see how it goes. Okay, powered up the engines. Okay, look how much detail you can see at the Space Center. Okay. Come on, line us up. Big safe. Valentina Kerbin is lined up with the runway. She's sort of lined up with the runway. I take it back. That's good. Gear down. Coming in pretty fast. Maybe we should consider putting drogue chutes on this thing. No, no. Stay on the runway. Power up. Take off, go around. There, that was just a bit of fun, Tito, wasn't it? Oh, don't make him pass out. Thankfully, we don't have any wind today, so we can land on the runway in either direction. Roll over. It does not have good roll control. Okay, this is a much slower landing speed. Yeah, we should put drogue chutes on it, but then it'll be harder to get into space, so we just gotta get the right landing speed. It's got a very slow landing speed when it's empty. Okay, not the best touchdown ever, but we did it. Whew. Alright. Success, sort of. I mean, it's a success. It just wasn't a very elegant success. Recover to the splice pane hangar. Alright, Tito's funds are going to spend very well. Yes, alright. Let's see if we got any more tourism contracts. There we go. We got lots more tourism contracts. Okay. Oversight. They want to be on a suborbital trajectory over the South Pole. Okay. They want to be on a suborbital trajectory over the Badlands. Well, I don't really want to do that. Let's bring 3 more tourists to low Kerbin orbit at some point. Bring a tourist to visit Manticore Station. Bring 2 tourists to visit an asteroid. Well, we could eventually do that. I don't have room for exceptional contracts. Grand tourist tour of Nidon? A very wealthy tourist would like to do a tour of the moons of Nidon. He's willing to pay quite well for the trip. Fly by all of Nidon's moons. You know that'll take you about 50 years, right? Like, oh my god. Okay, investor tour. Oh god, I remember this one. This one was very confusing. Melvin Kerman, give us this Kerbal the tour to receive the space casino construction contract, or Marmore Kerman, give this Kerbal the tour to receive the space hotel construction contract. Tour the waypoints in order. All the different locations. Okay. Well, we can't accept it because it's exceptional. You can hold a space camp. Bring the candidates. Bring 14 tourists into a long-term orbital training facility. Some will join our space program when they return. Bring the candidates into orbit. Duration 40 days with a pilot, an engineer, and a scientist. At least one with experience level 2. All of these people. And then recover them. 14, huh? Well, I can bring... Well, that's 14 plus 3 more, so that's 17. I can bring 10 at a time. So, a couple of flights of the passenger plane. But we've got to launch a pretty serious habitation structure. What's the deadline? I think there's no deadline. Failure is just reputation. It's a lot, though. I will do this. I will hold a space camp. Not going to Nidon. And bring 3 tourists to visit Dryad Transfer Vehicle. We can do that. I just... Dryad transfer vehicle is going to come to us. We're not going to minmus. This might break. But it'll get us a lot of money. So let's do that. There we go. So we gotta do some tourism contracts to make enough money to do everything else I want to do. Meanwhile, ScanSat... not helping us right now. Exploration Plus is only giving me 3-star contracts. Why is it a 3-star contract to put a satellite in orbit around minmus? Okay, what contracts can I finish? Have I not placed a relay satellite in orbit around Eve? Oh no, it had to be 15G. Failure is 1,000,000 funds, but it expires never. Okay, well that's just going to be holding up. I'm going to skip through this contract stuff because this is the hardest part of the game for me. Okay, it came to my attention that we didn't get credit for doing a manned return from minmus, so I'm going to cheat my way through getting that one as well. Perform a manned return from orbit of minmus. We've absolutely done that, so complete. Okay, now we have room for one more contract. Now we need to build a rover that can do the investor tour. So I'm going to work on building a rover. So something that I haven't told you about yet is this asteroid here, which I believe is gargantuan. Is approaching Kerbin, and this is its orbit. Let me turn off these lines. So that is a giant asteroid on a collision course with Kerbin. It won't do anything if I ignore it, but I feel a responsibility to try to divert this asteroid and prevent whatever impact site from being harmed by it. So we have another asteroid redirect launch. This one should be more capable than the last one. So let's see if we can make this work. So this is the Gladiator asteroid redirect. Let's launch. Here we are. There's some Kerbals over there. We're going to ignore them. That's from the tourism contract. Oh, I need to see... Forgot. I need to actually see this asteroid's... set as target. Okay, I need to warp until we're actually under the orbit plane. Forgot. Maybe like that. And we're actually going to launch a bit retrograde. You know, it's probably worth going to the other side, save some delta V. So let's look at it from this angle, and let's warp until we're aligned this way. Right about there. Okay. All right, Kerbal Engineer, rendezvous. So we're launching basically north. Z. Here we go. Alright, our relative inclination is dropping. No, it is increasing. Am I going the wrong way? Yes, I am. We've got to go south. Oh no. We'll see. This thing has a lot of delta V, so we might be okay. There we go. Now our relative inclination is dropping. Come on. Come on. Go south. It was north the other way, but then we went the other direction. God. Oh, this is the cluster episode. Point surface prograde. And, we'll get out of the atmosphere. Okay, there goes those. Let's roll. Why is it taking some... Did I not put a reaction wheel? Surely I put a powerful reaction wheel on this thing. We've got to go dock with a asteroid. Did I not put a powerful reaction wheel on it? I think... Did I not? Oh boy. Alright, well, we'll see. That's at least pretty light. Okay. Damn it. I broke the other spacecraft. That's what I was trying to avoid doing. This is a KW rocketry upper stage. That's just why it doesn't have the waterfall engine effects, but let's try to get our inclination changed. This launch may need to be entirely reverted. I don't know. I'm so tired, y'all. Okay. Let's just time accelerate. We're falling back down now. Yeah, let's revert this. Hang on, let's revert this. I'm just now figuring out that it doesn't matter whether I launch on one side of the planet or the other. It's a retrograde orbit regardless. Okay. Remember I said we might do a retrograde orbit at some point? Well, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're switching to... We got into orbit, we're switching back to the launch vehicle. See if we can recover it. Command return to orbit from minmus. Yeah, okay. Pretty. Nighttime re-entry effects. I'm gonna fast forward this too. Okay. Okay, we recovered it. We got some funds back. Let's go switch back to our spacecraft. Okay, here we are. Let's deploy the solar panels. This vehicle is kind of similar to the Vampire. It's just that it's designed to harvest from an asteroid instead of from a planet. All right, let's start planning our maneuver. We can't intercept it the way that we otherwise would, because when it comes to periaps, that'll be too late. I'm just kind of realizing that now. Let's go to ascending node and burn outward. Let's see what happens. That won't work. I'm going to fiddle with this for a minute. I've never done this before. I'm going to try fixing my inclination first, even though it'll cost more fuel. Because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. So let's try that. This is the weirdest orbital intercept I've ever planned, because they're on a hyperbolic orbit that also impacts the surface, and I've got to go out and get them. I'm a little out of my depth. Well, I've made a maneuver that will get me in the right vicinity. I don't know if it's going to work. Just going to give it a try. That's been kind of the motto of the whole episode today, is I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. All right, well, the car is going to be done before this is done, but I want to stick with this and see if I can make this work, because I quick saved at the beginning of this maneuver to make multiple attempts, so if need be. So I'm going to stick with this, even though it delays some other stuff that we're going to work on. I can only keep track of one thing at a time, and we've got a relatively close approach, but I don't know if we have the delta V that we actually need. So we'll find out. So we've flung ourselves way up over Kerbin. We need to time warp much faster. The tour car is about to be complete. That's for the tourists. And then large volume containment will be done. So let's warp to, hang on, let's deploy this. Let's deploy this transmitter thing. Let's extend this antenna, because we've got plenty of connectivity. We just need to actually deploy the antenna. Okay, antenna deployed. Let's warp to that. Okay. Now our maneuver is next. It's going to spend 120 meters per second of our remaining 700. I'm just hoping that, 500 something left will be enough to get us a rendezvous. All right, what do we end up with? All right, 64 kilometers. Let's turn retrograde and see if we can improve this. Okay. That's 19, 14, 12, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.7 kilometers. Or 0.7 kilometers. Let's quick save that. And then we're going to have a relative speed of 185 meters per second. Well, that's less than 580, so that's really good. How long is it going to take to do 185? I'm going to sneeze. Going to take us 15 seconds. Let's add an alarm for that time. Okay, cool. It's in 1 day. So let's remove that. Let's delete this. And let's warp here, and we'll turn target retrograde. Okay, where is it? It's still 460 kilometers away. Should be above us somewhere, but it might not have shown up yet. Okay. 41 minutes. Let's warp here. All right. It's 120 kilometers away. Warp here. Three minutes. There it is. Asteroid LEB 168, 39 kilometers away. Closest approach is in 3 minutes. Let's quick save. And let's just watch it come in. All right, we still getting a 0.7. Yeah, we're still getting 0.7. And it's in 24 seconds. "15 seconds. There it is. It's loaded in. Okay. Now, when I looked online, it said that there were no gargantuan asteroids, that if something was gargantuan, it was a comet. But this is clearly an asteroid, so what do you know? All right, now we are on a... What is our orbit? Our orbit is quite similar. Okay, let's drift in. Good. Target center of mass. Arm the grabber. turn toward it. Retract these forward solar panels. Okay. Change the camera view to locked. And point at this thing. I don't have the maneuver hole to point at it. That would be helpful. RCS. Get us aimed directly at it. Careful, because I don't have very much monopropellant. We're closing fast. Slow down our approach. Let's do 1 meter per second. Let's aim camera here. Is this gargantuan? Doesn't seem as big as the last one. Maybe I misread it. Hopefully we're lined up. That'll help with our thrusting. Point right along the center of mass. There we go. Capture. Okay. Let's deploy the other solar panel. Extend the other solar panel. Let's deploy the radiators. Deploy the drill. Start asteroid harvester. And start ISRU liquid fuel oxidizer. Let's actually turn off this one and let's start monoprop so that we can refill our monopropellant for a bit. Alright, what do we got going on? Just like last time, I think that the radiators have to come up to temperature before they're removing enough heat. Meanwhile, let's plan ourselves in orbit. Alright. Add a maneuver. So right now, our periaps is in the planet. There we go. Periaps 250 kilometers. Let's make it 80 kilometers. 80 kilometers. Cool. Yeah. 80,000 meters. That's gonna take 27 meters per second that we don't have, but if we can generate the fuel fast enough, why is it not generating liquid fuel? Stop this. Stop this. Start this. Seems to only be able to do one at a time, I guess. Alright, we're able to move the asteroid, but we we're having some trouble getting it to stop. Okay, let's get pointed along. Actually, if we throttle up, we should be able to get some more control. So I chose an engine with less delta V, or less specific impulse than what we had, but it has more thrust, which I'm hoping will make the difference in terms of accomplishing this maneuver faster. Of course, we're going to run out of fuel in just a second. Let's stop the monopropellant one. Okay. Now, do we want to start this asteroid harvester? What will happen to our heat generation? Doesn't seem to have had any impact. Okay. Alright, the question is, can we make fuel fast enough to see a change? What is that? Go away, whatever that is. Settings. None. I'm still seeing where I'm supposed to go, but it's fine. Alright. Let's get some fuel. Oh, this is going to be an issue. Why are we making liquid fuel so much faster? I don't know. Alright, throttle up. Can't really see what's happening to our orbit. But this is the same thing we're doing with the other one, except this one has more thrust and generates fuel faster. And I'm seeing a change in our orbit. That's good, that's what we want. Okay. Periaps. We have a periaps. We're diverting this asteroid. Alright, we did it. Kerbin periaps, 94 kilometers. Okay, that's a little more than I wanted, but that's actually perfectly fine. Okay. Now let's make a maneuver at periaps to capture. That's not actually going to take that much. But I would love to change our inclination. Is that something that we could do? Let's set the moon as a target. Can we focus on Kerbin? My god. We're focusing on the maneuver. Interesting. Alright. Well... we're not really in a position to do much about our inclination, are we? We'll have to change it gradually over time. but first let's focus on capturing. Alright, what else is on our... wait, hang on. Let's add periaps alarm. Cool. We're filling up oxidizer and liquid fuel. And we are using up resources, but very slowly. It's still at 100% of resource. We are reducing the planet's mass and or the asteroid's mass and transforming it into liquid fuel and oxidizer. Cambion is complete. Alright, let's close that. Let's just fill up on liquid fuel. And then we'll stop ISRU liquid fuel. And just focus on oxygen and monopropellant. Okay, let's switch to the Space Center. For our last activity today, we are going to launch a new probe to the Sun. Here we go. So we've already launched probes out to a solar orbit. So what's different about this one is that it is going close to the Sun, or at least. That's the plan. We'll see how close we can actually get. But thankfully, this launch is more normal. We're going east instead of southwest. I've given up on having efficient launch ascent profiles. It's not happening. I'm too tired today to make it happen. I've burned out way too far. Oh well. That's a terrible launch. Let's try to fix it. I need to stop. So tired. Okay. No. M. There we go. Burn time is in 3 minutes. Let's deploy the solar panels. So let's deploy the... Okay. Extend solar panel. Extend solar panel. Okay. Okay, pointed the right way. Add maneuver. 1 minute. We're going to burn up when we re-enter. We've gone too high. Okay, terrible launch, but we'll switch to the other probe and watch it burn up. I think that the engine won't survive the re-entry heating. It's like last time we did this. Alright. Electric charge, tracked. Vessels are complete. Oh yeah, the tour car. We'll do that next time. Here we come to a fiery demise. Unless I am very much mistaken, which has been happening all day today, so we'll see. Yep. The expensive part is broken. But, I guess we can recover the less expensive parts. that was fun. Let's arrange ourselves. Oh, this is going to take such a long time to get to the water. My gosh. Lightning. Okay, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for bearing with me on this silly day, and next time we'll capture the asteroid, we'll give the tourist their tour, we'll check on our minmus ISRU. There's much to do, but thank you very much for joining, and hope you have a more reasonable brain today than I do today. All right, goodbye.